Here are the 10 biggest mistakes real estate investor wholesaler makes that cost them a boatload of money and time. Intro. And how do I know this? Because your boy King Khang make all of these mistakes, so I'm sharing with you so you don't have to. Coming in at number one is direction and focus. You lack of direction and focus because you are maybe emerging into the game. You don't know what city, what state to target. You don't know, you also don't know, should I go with single family, multifamily, apartment, commercial, vacant land. So what you end up doing, because you're collecting so much information on social media, right, that you end up dabbling on all of them. You try a little bit of single family, you try a little bit of multifamily, apartment, and vacant land, and all of this, and you're trying to go into different market as well, instead of knowing that you need to focus your own market. So here's what you need to do. Number one is pick a city or a county that you want to freaking laser focus and you want to dominate, all right? So we're going to go deep instead of trying to go wide when you haven't even made that money yet, okay? And typically when you're first starting out, I would highly suggest that you stick with single family home. Single family, duplex, triplex, fourplex is also okay, but don't try to go into apartment, commercial, vacant land. Vacant land, yes, you can make money in all of them and you can wholesale in all of them, right? But vacant land takes a lot of time and a lot of work, especially if there's no utilities that are there. You got to develop, you got to go to the cities, getting permit, county, like all of that. And your pool of buyers are very, very limited and are very, very small. When you get into commercial buildings, your buyer is different. They're much more savvy. There's more education that you have to do, right? You're talking about and then also targeting high-end property. I wouldn't go with anything in the $600, $700, $800 or $1 million. A lot of you are sending me deals and say, Khang, I just got this $2 million deal under contract, baby. When I see that and you're new into the game, to me, dude, I just pass it, right? Because you're dealing with a whole different type of seller, and you're dealing with a whole type of different buyer, all right? And we're talking about cap rate, ROI, things like that, and it's just much more complex, takes much more time, even though you can make a bigger spread. I understand that. But when you're new, you're starting out, single family, duplex, triplex, fourplex is where you want it to be. Once you master that, then my friend, you can expand. Number two, you're trying to grow too fast, too quick. This exact same thing happens to me that almost bankrupt me because I'm trying to compete with other real estate investors. They're doing 3, 4, 5 deals at a time, and I'm here doing one. But you gotta understand, I was still also very new into the game, so I was learning everything. I was learning how to run contractors. So for those of you who don't know, let me take you back a little bit, okay? So I started in real estate about 10 years ago. And I got into real estate when I was 27. I knew nothing about real estate, no construction background. I didn't even know what houses are going for in my area. I knew nothing about real estate. I even overpaid for the house that I bought for our first house, all right? Which we bought that at the age of 23. So when I got into the business, I was doing everything myself. The marketing, talking to the seller, dealing with contractor, the city, the permit. I was still learning all of that. And I was trying to grow really fast. I was competing with other investors, right? Seeing that they doing so many deals a month and I'm here, working on just one. So then I go and I borrow money and then I leverage and then I got myself in a very, very big mess. If I would have just slowed down, right? One thing at a time, right? I would have gone to where I wanted to be, right? It's gonna take me a little bit longer, but less headaches, less stress, and I honestly would have made way more money than putting myself in a spot where I almost go bankrupt, all right? And that's the issue with some of you right now. Do not compete. Focus on your own journey, on your own lane, master the skill, get the team a system in place first before you're really trying to grow and scale. Number 3, system and team. Now check this out. Before you trying to spend a boatload of money on marketing, all right? Because a lot of you, maybe you close your first deal, your second deal, now you got some money coming in, and then you increase. Let's just say you make $10,000 from the wholesale deal. Instead of start slow, put $1,000 back into marketing or $2,000 back into marketing, you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go heavy because now I got the money, and you decided to blow it up. take half of it, 50%, and just go back into marketing, but you don't have the system and the team in place yet. So before you increase your marketing, you gotta make sure you have a system and a team in place, because once you increase your marketing, you're gonna get a bunch of leads that's gonna be coming in, pouring in, but you don't have the team trained up to handle these leads. Guess what happened? You're now missing out on a bunch of opportunities that you cannot handle because you're trying to train your team at the same time. Marketing is coming, pouring in, and you end up actually costing you money instead of actually making you money, and it's gonna make you stressed out even more because you're trying to do everything at this moment. You're trying to put a system, you're trying to get a team in place, and you got a boatload of marketing's people, sellers that are calling you, and you cannot take them down because you don't have people in place to be able to do that. So before you increase your marketing, one, increase your marketing very slow. So if you make 10 G's from the wholesale and you spent 1,000 on that first, you now go 1,500 or go 2,000. All right, slow and steady. And then before you increase, right, before you decide to go heavy on marketing, make sure you have a good system and you have a team in place to be able to handle the workload. That, my friend, is the key. Number 4 is diversify. A lot of you wants to diversify and you're diversifying too soon. You haven't really built a consistent business yet, and you're trying to take the money you make either from fix and flip or from wholesaling, and you'll be like, hey Khang, I want to buy some rental property because passive income just sounds so sexy, and I like to own some property, for passive income, for retirement, etc. But you're diversifying too soon. And here's what I mean. Until you build a sustained business, until you have the system, the team in place, where it doesn't really require you to work in the business, where you only may be spending 1 or 2 hours, a day on the business, because you have system, you have team, and then your business is making at least, to me, your business needs to pump out at least 20, 30, 40K per month, at least. Until you diversify, until you decide, you know what, Khang, I got some money stacked aside, my business is pumping out 20, 30, 40 G's a month now, and here, now you can diversify. Now you can go look and buy some rental property, because now you bring in a lot of income, but you need something to help offset your taxes. That's why you buy rental property, because it also gives you cash flow. But some of you diversify too soon, so let's just say that you close 2 wholesale deals. Okay, you made, let's just say 40 G's. You'd be like, hey Khang, I wanna go buy a rental property. You take the 40 G's, you put into a rental property. That rental property give you $500 a month. That's not gonna change your business, it's not gonna change your life. That $500 a month, your 40 G's is stuck in the property. You can't get that 40 G's back out for another 6 months or so, because you can do a cash out refi, right? But it's stuck in that property for at least 6 months. So guess what happened, my friend? Now your business has to slow down because you don't have the money to fuel it, to fund it. That, my friend, you got to understand. Your business is like a baby. Let me make sure you understand this. Your business is like a baby. You got to feed it, you got to take care of it until it can run by itself. Man, you have to stay on top of it, because without the fuel, without the money, your marketing gotta slow down. You can't invest in the system. You can't invest in the team because you got no money for it, okay? So that's why diversify. Don't do it until you have a solid business that pumps you a massive amount every single month. Then you're ready, my friend. Number 5 is multiple market. Here's what I mean. You are trying to jump in too many markets at the same time. So what you need to do is, once again, focus and direction. Focus on your own market. Dominate your own market. Master the skill first until you jump into another market. But don't try to go in 2 to 3 at the same time. I know I made these mistakes, and that's why I'm telling you. You think now you're the big bowler, right? You got money coming in, and you'll be like, hey, you know what? If I can do this if I make 20 or 40,000 a month in my market, maybe I could go in 2 more market, and then I'll be able to make an extra 40 G's. Sometimes it does not work like that, my friend. All right, so what you need to do is, before you go, you wanna go into one market at the time, but first master and dominate your market first. And then when you dominate one city in your market, maybe take on another city, maybe take on another county, and then eventually take on your whole entire state, if it's possible. But nobody knows your states more than you do. Like, you know your backyard better than someone else's. So before you go into a different state, make sure you already max out your states, okay? Because now I start out with I started out with one city, all right? A very small city. Then I go to one county. And I was making 50 G's a month, which is one county, a population of 100,000 people. Then now I take over in the whole entire states. But I made the mistake too by jumping into other market, lost a boatload of money, and then I'd retract. I go back to what I was good at. I go back to what I know was my own market. And now we're in like 2 or 3 different markets, but it took me a while, okay? So one market and learn that market, study that market, connect with another investor, wholesaler that's in that market and ask them what's a good area, because there are states, cities, right, that one street will have nice houses, good houses, and then another street have bad houses, right? They're like, all of a sudden you go from a neighborhood to like war zone. And when you're not in the market, you don't know. And then when you jump in, you start spending all that money without educating yourself first, then your problem is you're probably gonna lose a lot of money. Number 6, firing people. A lot of you have trouble firing people. Listen, when they're not good for your company, you got to let them go. Business is business, personal is personal. You cannot blend the two. And some of you have families and friends that work in your business. But sometimes letting one person go doesn't mean that you are doing them a bad thing, because they might not fit for your company, but they might shine and flourish working for somebody else. And when you enabling them where you don't fire them, it'll destroy your business. You don't want one bad tomato to ruin the whole batch. And when you don't fire them, you enabling them, you're actually holding them back from their potential as well, because they're just not good fit for your company, but they might be a good fit somewhere else. So firing people, and I have a good friend that have a hard time firing people, and it's really destroying his business. So there's a saying, hire slow and fire fast. That's exactly what you need to do, my friend. And if you have trouble firing people, you need to hire someone that can do it. I'm not good at firing people. That's why the wifey, Lon, she takes care of it. Dude, she fire people, man, like popcorn. You're done, you're done, you're done, you're done. She has no freaking problem. Like, she's a freaking beast. So that's why I do all the front end. That's why I do the social media and this and that. So Lon take care of all the back end. For those of you who don't know, I could have not done this without her. And I gotta give her credit where it's deserved. I couldn't become who I am today if it weren't for her, because I was a very shy, insecure guy. She helped me become who I am today by pushing me and telling me that I can do and become better version of myself. But anyway, she take care of all the back end, the hiring, the firing, the training, like all of that. So I don't have to do it. I'm not good at it. So find yourself someone, if you can't, to fire people for you. Number 7 is doing everything. You're trying to do everything yourself. You're micromanaging. Even though you have a team, you're still managing every little details, this and that and this and that. You're too involved inside the business. When you micromanage, it's extremely hard for you to grow and actually scale your business, because to grow and scale, you must eliminate yourself, because you only focus on the big money making task only. And you should be only talking to 1 or 2 people a day in your business. Like, you need a COO that runs your whole entire business, right? That's the one that's micromanaging, that looks at every single details, that look at your system, that look at your teams, that know what needs to be changed, what needs to be, and then they report it to you, and then you make a decisions what to do and what not to do. And so when you try to do everything, it's hard for you to actually grow, because you won't be able to see the big picture, because you're in the picture yourself. Number 8, this is key. Money and finance. Here's what I mean. Mismanaging your money and your finance. Your business cannot be successful if you cannot control your finance. Like, you need to know where the money is coming in and where the money is going out. So you need to set up bank account, different multiple bank account. Your personal, your business, your personal expenses, your personal saving account. Like, there should be different, and you should have an opportunity account, which means the money that comes in to that account is for you to actually take risk and go invest in other things. That's when you're trying to diversify. But you know, people are having a tough time managing and finance their money because maybe you don't have a skill set in that area. So you might need to hire someone that actually sits down and tell you exactly how to start managing your money, where the money's going, so that way you can stay on top of it. Because let me tell you something, when you take your eyes away from your money and your finance, like when you sit down and you can't look at your balance sheet and tells how much profit you make, or if you actually profiting or you actually not profiting, my friend, that's a one heck of a scary thing. How do I know? Happens to me. Mistakes. So learn from me, don't make that mistakes, but make sure you look at your money. I now call my bank at least, I would say at least twice a week. So I call to see, I call them, go over through all of my accounts so I can look at it and see what's in, what's out, what is supposed to be. Like, you gotta stay on top of it, my friend. Number 9 is training and qualifying the employee before you bring them onto the team. A lot of you just shoot for, hey, you wanna jump onto the team, and then you just bring them on, and then obviously you now waste so much time, so much energy and money invested into this one employee, and they're not even suitable for that positions, or they're not even suitable for your company. So training and qualifying an employee is extremely important. Like, they gotta go through a qualification. You gotta ask them, obviously a question to ask is why they feel like they are a good fit for this, what's their skill set, what they're interested in doing, what they're good at. Like, you need to know all of that so you can position them, place them in the correct department, all right, in your company. And you gotta know how to train your employee. A lot of you, when you hire people and you just, hey, do this, boom, and you don't give them a proper training. When you don't train them properly, guess what, my friend? They cannot do their jobs the best that they can. And when they don't do good, you cannot blame them. Only person you can blame is yourself, or whoever it is that trained that person. In my case, the wifey. Lon does all the training. So when shit goes down, she's the one she's the one that I can get a point finger at. But no, I mean, like, she does really good. Typically for our VA that's gonna cold call, she typically train them for 3 weeks. Within those 3 weeks, she needs to see improvement every single week. If they don't improve, boom, she let them go, she hires someone else on, all right? And she always have backup. Listen to me, this is key. Always have backup, which means you cannot depend on one cold caller. You cannot depend on one purchase manager. What if they're sick? What if there's something pop up, better opportunity for them, so they quit so they can go and obviously, get a better pay, which is fine. But so you need to have backup, because once they put in a 2-week notice to you, I promise you, they will not work as hard, or they're not to work or do the task that they're supposed to do, because their mind, like, they're physically there, but mentally, they're already gone. Like that 2 weeks notice, baby, they're already gone. They're already gone the time that they about to tell you that they were gonna leave. So you gotta make sure you have backup for every positions, so you cross-train your employee. So one person needs to know, at least 2 or 3 different other tasks, other role that they should do in case one is sick or one quit, all right? Very, very important. Number 10, last but not least, man, is that not investing the money back into systems, people, employee, mastermind, and mentorship. This is key, because mastermind mentorship, what they do is it helps cut down the learning curve. But I know, because I'm also one of them, that a lot of times we want to stay cheap. We're thinking, you know what? I don't want to spend that extra $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, because I think I can figure this out all myself. And then until you realize that shit, 6 months in, a year in, you'll be like, oh shit, I haven't figured anything out. If you do, you're trying to go from level 1 to level 10, but then you're stuck at level 3. And this is where the key, where Mastermind and Mentorships comes in. So for those of you who don't know, I paid 25 G's to go to this mastermind called Collective Genius. These are some of the biggest and most badass real estate investors all across the country comes together in Mastermind. Some of these guys and gals do between $500,000 to $1 million plus per month. You got anybody from private hard money lenders, realtors, bankers, investors, wholesaler, fix and flipper, landlord, those turnkey operations, management company, like anything that's real estate related, you can find it there in this mastermind. So let's just say that you got some property that you're looking for a property manager. Boom, they got people. Like these people, let me tell you, these badass, they do not do 1 or 2 deals or 5 or 10 or deals a year. To be in this mastermind, 1, invite only, and you have to go through a qualification process. Very strict. You have to do at least 75 deals a year. Like you have to be a pretty badass in your area to be able to join. And they don't let double dip, which means if you're in let's just say Nevada and you're in a certain area, they will not let someone that's from Nevada, Vegas or whatever to be in the mastermind because it might cause some kind of a conflict. So they don't do that. So they're very picky and choose, and you have to go through, once again, an interview process. But man, so we meet 4 times a year. I spend 25 G's. But let me tell you, all I do is I go there 1 time. I try to go 4 times a year, but even if I go there 1 time, one information, 1 connection I got already paid me more than 25 G's. I wish I would have knew, and I would have not be cheap and invest into Mastermind and Mentor a lot sooner. Same thing, system and people. To grow, what's gonna grow your business is people, all right? People. You need the right people, not just any people, right? So you gotta invest in people, hire employee, and if they're good, you gotta pay them more to keep them. You cannot be cheap. Listen, if they are good, someone else is gonna get them. If they are good, and if you don't pay them enough, they're gonna go find somewhere else. If they can't see that they can grow in your business, they are gonna go. And there's nothing, you cannot blame them because you would do the same thing. Wouldn't you? Everybody wants to grow. And if you can't grow, that's why a JOB is just so sad. Working at a JOB is sad because there's a ceiling, there's a cap. Once you hit it, you can't grow anymore. That's why people that work at a company for so long, if you go there, you will see that they're just dragging their feet, they're just clocking in and out, they're just putting in that 8 hours and going home because there's nothing else for them. There's no more juice for them. They can't grow anymore, and so they die. Okay? So that's why when I first came into my first JOB, dude, I was hustling so hard. Within 2 years, I was making as much as the guy that was there for 5 to 7 years. I was hungry, right? I have room to grow. They don't. And system, same thing. You cannot be cheap on any of these. If you want to grow and scale your business, if you want to cut down the learning curve, this, my friend, is a must investment. All right, I literally took 10 years of my life in the real estate games and compact it down to this 1 video. So I hope that added a lot of value to your life and to your business, okay? Now listen, for those of you, if you're looking to grow and scale your real estate business, your wholesaling business, I've been virtually wholesaling for the past 5 years. Virtual wholesaling means I don't see the sellers, I don't see the property, I don't meet up with the buyers. I have a team of 7 VAs that run the whole entire operation for me. I work about 1 hour a day on my wholesaling business. And right now we're doing about 8 deals a month, which I would say around 150 G's or so on an average per month. So for those of you, you're looking to grow and scale your wholesaling business, you need some help putting a system, putting a team in place, training, showing you how to train your employee up and give them position and role, like pretty much everything that I just talked about, go ahead and go to kingkong.com, book a call with one of my team, and we will love to get on the phone and help you out. So go to kingkong.com, book a call with one of my team, and let's see how we can help you grow and scale your wholesaling business and take your life to a whole nother level. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and hopefully it does add some value to you. And if it does, please show your boy King Kong some love. Boom, smash that thumbs up. You're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale Community family. Be sure to boom, smash that subscribe button, and make sure you turn on the bell notification and follow me on all my social media. But until next time, take care and ciao.